what's up, guys? Welcome to MYC Uncensored with Satini. Today, I am joined by someone new, and it is Sofia. Welcome, Sofia.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yay, someone new to the podcast. Everyone must be so excited.
I hope so.
So just kind of tell the podcast listeners, something about yourself.
I'm a fourth year university student studying a Bachelor of Social Work.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know, crazy. So you'll be hearing my voice and maybe seeing me at the service quite often because I'll be here 600 hours.
And how have you found the course?
It's great. I love it. I love what I do. I like meeting new people and I like to talk. So I'm excited for this podcast.
Perfect. You're a perfect fit.
Thank you.
Well, yes. So as always, we've got a question that was given to us by a young person. So whoever you are, thank you very much. And the topic is, how do you tell your parents you have a date?
Oh, this is interesting.
Very.
Gosh. So, I don't know. I feel like I think it's important to be honest with your parents or guardians because it's good to have that type of relationship from the very beginning, despite your age. And I know that like it can be a bit difficult telling your parents, like especially like your first date, it's so awkward. Like, how the heck do you address it? Like, what are you meant to say? And like, I know it can be different for everyone. So like, I know whoever's listening, despite whether you're religious or cultural background, like everyone struggles with it. So today, I guess we're going to talk about how you manage telling your parents and kind of diving into different scenarios you might be put in, and hopefully we can help you guys out.
Yep, you just worded it perfectly.
Great.
So yeah, as you said, it's important to be open with them.
Yes.
Unfortunately, some people don't have that kind of relationship with their parents. So, you know, I'm sure there's someone out there that would never wouldn't even think about mentioning it to their parents. That's hard.
It is so hard because it's also like you want to have that type of dynamic where you can be honest with your parents, but sometimes you might not feel safe for whatever that reason. And it might be maybe because you feel like you might be judged or you might be criticized.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just don't want to hear that crap, and that's so fine. But it's the question of how do you want to reflect upon that? Like, how do you want to approach it? Because at the end of the day, do you have to tell your parents? No. But the reason why we're talking about how to tell your parents is because at the end of the day, it can be a good thing, as it can maybe give you hope for your first date. Yeah. Like, especially if you're like, oh, what should I wear? How should I do my hair and makeup? Like, your guardian or even like a parent figure can help you with that. But again, it can be really scary and difficult. Yeah. So it's like, if you were to, I guess, tell your parents or your guardian, I would maybe say something like, hey, just giving you a heads up. I'm going on a date with so-and-so. I just wanted to let you know because I'm really excited, because it's not a negative thing and it's a quite normal human experience. For sure, yeah. And so despite your age or gender or whatnot, like, everyone will go through it at some stage, and you should own it, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, especially if it's your like first date, then that's such like a huge thing, right? Yes. As you said, like you get all excited, like thinking about, oh, what am I gonna wear? Like, how should I look and stuff? And yeah, just being able to share that with your parent, you know, is probably something that a lot of you probably want to do but can't. Yes. And like, I know this question is specifically for parents, but I think also if you can't, like, for whatever reason, you absolutely cannot, would never tell your parents, at least tell an adult. Yes. Or a trusted friend, because it's also a safety thing too, right?
100%. And I think as well, it's nice to debrief about it after the date, whether it's good or bad or average, because it's so exciting, like, kind of being like, oh my gosh, I went on this date and it's so much fun. Or, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm going to go out on this date again, but I'm glad I went. Yeah. And yes, it's for safety. It's good for someone to know, but it's also that excitement of being young and having fun
It's
and
like, oh yeah, here's
like,
all the dates.
exactly.
Let me call you.
Exactly. And like as we said, like it doesn't have to be a guardian or it can just be a friend, but also like I think as well it can be nice to also get their input of like whether or not like they see any red flags or like their opinions. Do you know what I mean? Like as in red flags is a whole other topic. But in saying that, like friends or family or whoever you're telling, they will be honest. And I think it's really exciting to share those experiences with people.
Yeah.
And even if you don't have people like that in your life, like we're here too.
Oh yeah. And I would love to hear all the details.
100%.
You're more than welcome to share.
So you're not alone because you have us and yes, this is a pre-recorded video, but when you come in, you can always open up to us about it because we don't judge. And I think like this kind of goes into the segue of like, you know, how do you, if you're not going to tell your parents, right, how would you approach it? Like, would you lie to them? Would you, see, that's the whole issue, right?
Yeah.
So obviously like lying isn't like the greatest option and it's not a sustainable option because you want to be open and honest with your parents. So I think I was kind of like brainstorming of how can you slowly mention it. So maybe suss out how they think about you dating. So for example, if you like to your mum, so like, I don't know, like what do you think about dating? And like maybe she or your guardian might share their experience and then you can like kind of segue into the, oh, I'm kind of interested in going out on a date with someone. So at least you know where they stand, if that makes sense. And so maybe that will give you the confidence to not lie to your parents and be, or your guardian and be open and honest rather than choosing the first option of lying because it's not sustainable and you don't want to have to stress about lying to your parents when you're on a date. You want to enjoy it and have fun. So I think not having that burden will take that extra pressure and stress off you. And yeah, like I have a friend and like when she went on her first date, her father was very upset because, you know, she was so like, she was not even young. She was 16, okay? But she wasn't young. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I think it's important for young people to realize that it's hard to let young people like go and have fun in the sense of parents want to protect them and hover them. And that's beautiful and all. But you get to a stage where like, you know, you want to go out on dates and that's normal and that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with going out on dates and like experiencing those things. And so I think like despite your parents' reaction, telling them and communication will do you more good than harm. I reckon.
Definitely, yeah. And that reminded me of something like, 'cause a lot of the young people here, like, you know, different cultural backgrounds and all that stuff. And then one time they said to me that like their parents really wants them to get married.
Wow.
But she can't go out on dates or have a boyfriend. And it was like,
so how's that meant to work?
Okay. So there's that too, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just, I don't know, some parents are like that.
I mean, it's hard because it's like, how do you expect them to find someone unless they want to arrange it themselves, which is a whole other, again, topic in itself. But like, I think every parent or guardian is different, and I guess assessing your own situation might help you and like figuring out their viewpoint about dating and also like if they are religious, how that might impact your dating life.
Yeah.
Are you expected to date someone with the same religion? You know, that might be a factor. So thinking about these things can be important when telling your parents about a date and by understanding their own values and opinions. You might not agree with that, which is totally fine, but at least that way you can kind of prepare yourself for things or what to say and kind of breaking down that stigma of you can go out on a date with whoever you want.
And you might be surprised, you know, by your parents' reaction. Like, you think this whole time, oh, you know, they wouldn't let me, I'm not allowed, like, why would I tell them? But yeah, once you tell them, damn, maybe they've been waiting for this moment, you know, the whole time. And then, you know, you finally took that initiative to be like, oh, you know, hey guys, I'm going on a date. And yeah, they might love that for you. They might even, your dad might be like, yep, I will drive you there, pick you up. I'll wait for you. I'll give you money for your date. So you never know.
Exactly. And I think as well, you know, parents or guardians realize that, you know, you're growing up, and growing up is about, not always, but sometimes it can be about dating and going out on dates, and it doesn't even have to be anything serious. But I think that whole concept, parents do come to that kind of conclusion. It just might take parents some time to kind of accept it. But as you said, they might surprise you and be like, oh my gosh, yes. So like you might get two different spectrums of yes or no in the sense of how like comfortable they are. But at the end of the day, they will come to the realization that you are growing up despite your age, and you're allowed to enjoy and have going out on dates and, you know, explore that. I think it's really special to do that. And I don't know, it's going to be a very exciting journey for you guys to go through.
Especially at this age.
100%.
You know, like we're at the age where a lot of us will have our first experiences and stuff. Yeah. So this in itself, I'm making sense.
Yes, you are. Don't you worry.
A huge experience, and
yeah, exactly. And I think as well, like, this is kind of a segue, but like dates doesn't necessarily have to mean dinner either. So like everyone has different definition of dates, and I think despite what the date is, you know, it doesn't really matter what it is. And if you think it is a date, then that's when we suggest telling your parents, because some people might be confused about like what actually is considered a date.
Oh yeah, because,
you know, like does it have to be a dinner? No, it can just be go for a walk.
Yeah, he'll ask you just to hang out or something. Yeah, and then you wouldn't even think it's a date, but it is a date.
But it is, exactly. And so I guess what I'm saying is that like whatever the date is, movies, dinner, walking, telling someone, a guardian, an adult, or us, or your friends is really important. I think that's like one of the key kind of concepts, I guess.
I agree.
Of this podcast, and also like telling your parents and ways to do it.
Being open and honest.
Yeah.
Very important.
Communication. And I guess as well, like understanding their values and your values and how it might be different, but how you can come on the same page. I think like that's going to be really helpful for telling your parents about going on your first date.
But yeah, no, everything you said, I'm really liking this topic.
Me too.
And yeah, like if that young person, did you end up telling your parents, you know, if you had your date, if you already, you know, went on it, or anyone else? Have you ever told your parents that you had a date? Were you that type, you know, that was open and honest, or did you have to lie to them? We want to know. Yeah,
exactly. And we want to know your experiences, and that way as well we can share, like obviously in confidentiality, but like we can kind of talk about it and like dive deep further into people's experiences of telling their parents. And I think you're never going to find one size fits all. It's going to be so different, and that is fine. And that's why we want to keep diving into this conversation in the future, 100%.
No, for sure. But as we said, communication is definitely key. If you have a great relationship with your parents or guardian, then, you know, that's great. If you don't, perhaps telling a trusted adult or friend, just so, you know, to let them know what's going on, because anything can happen.
100%. And your safety is the most important. And also just enjoying yourself and being young is also just as important. Yes. So, yes.
Well, I think that's all we have for today.
Yes, that's right.
OMG, it was such a really good topic, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I can't wait to film more. I have so many ideas. And, you know, some topics might be a bit taboo, but that's what we're here for, to break down those stigmas and make this a judgment-free zone. And so no questions are off limits, and for sure, never be criticized. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And as she said, if you have any questions, topics, suggestions, or you just want to share your experiences, no matter what it is, just send it our way, because, you know, We don't judge. Everything's welcomed. And yeah, we love hearing all this stuff.
100%.
Okay, we'll catch you guys on another episode. Bye.
Bye.